Hey guys, this is Charade, and it's time for another Charade Rants on July 3rd, 2012. And this topic came up a little while ago, more like last week, of something I was thinking about while I was playing Soul Calibur 5. And it was the fact that there aren't that many customization options that I like. That's right, today's topic is customization, and as a little add-on, we're also going to talk about RPGs for a bit. This is a twofer rant we have here. First off, we're going to start with customization, and I'm going to say right off the bat, if a game, no matter what it is, has customization, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to be playing it. Because I'm a left brain person. Basically, if you don't know, right brain is basically for, if I get this right, calculations, businessy stuff like that. But the left brain is your creative side, your coordination side. So, well, in layman's terms, right side is business, left side is pleasure, basically. Left side brain people are your artists, they're your music players, they're your musicians, they are your actors, and maybe your sports players, your painters, stuff like that. And right side is business. Me, I'm left side, I'm a left brain person. I love creativity. I'm creative in that sense. And when a game has customization, I will be playing it, if not own it. But it also depends on what type of customization there is. And to me, there are basically two types of customization out there in gaming. There is basically the cosmetic level customization and your god-like customization, or your playing god customization, as I sometimes say it is. And first we're going to talk about cosmetic, which is the most common type of character customization. These tend to be seen a lot in RPGs, in nowadays fighting games, in shooters, basically what's ever popular, or what type of genre is popular. More likely there is going to be customization out there that people like. And when it comes to customization, that is technically what commands my gaming library, is these cosmetic customizations that are out there. And like I was saying before in the beginning, with Soul Calibur 5, there's a lot of customization options, just not as much as I would hope. And what I mean by that is this. There are a lot of customization options in SE5, which I love. I love seeing that fighting games are having customization options. People want customization options. They want options to customize their characters in the way they feel like. In Soul Calibur 5, this is done by, you can create a character, your own original character, or you can customize an already existing character. If you want them to look different, if you're using that style, basically that style of character most often, but you don't feel like creating something either original or based on a already existing property, then you can customize the character you use to wear different clothing. But the real bulk of customization in that game is with create your own fighter, basically. You can create gender. What gender are they? How tall are they? How big? How is their muscle mass? What size are their legs, their arms, stomach, head, hair customization, eyebrows, eyes, voice, tone of voice, pitch of voice. What kind of, wavering effect do you have on the voice? And then you have clothing options, weapon color options, clothing color options, what color the trail the weapon will be creating, you know. And that right there is basically all the customization that there is in it. Now, there is one question I have about this customization. When playing 5, after creating a character, I had to stop and ask, why aren't there many options of how these clothes are supposed to be worn? And what I mean by that is this. The character that I created that got me thinking this was Q. I basically recreated Q from Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. Q from Third Strike. Because I like Q. When I played Third Strike, he was my character. He was the only character for a long time that I was able to complete the single player game with. But he's my online guy. He's my main online guy. I have others, but he's my main guy. He looks kick-ass. He does. But with the options available for Soul Calibur 5, I can only make it look almost like him. I have the trench coat. I have his hat, which unfortunately not that many hat options that look like Q's in SC5. I got the mask, which is actually pretty close to accurate, which I like. You know, all that stuff. But what got me thinking was, how come I can't have an option to close the trench coat? Make it look more like Q. You know, with his trench coat closed, with his tie showing through. Stuff like that. Why can't I have this option? You know, this is more of a nitpick, but it is an option that I wish it had. And it's one of those things that goes and sits in the back of your mind and just sits there. You know it's there. It's just bugging you because it knows that you know that it's there. And it's going to pop up later and you're going to go, why the hell did I not think of this? Or why did they not think of this? Because I can go into Saints Row the Third, into a store, and basically any store, buy a shirt, and then it's not just a shirt. I can also pick how the shirt will go. I can have it if I get a button-down shirt. Oh, I can have it open. I can have it closed. I can have it tucked in. I can have it out. You know, stuff like that. Buy a hat in Third. You can wear it normal. You can wear it backwards, forwards, reverse, left, right. All these things. Even some pants options, actually. You can wear it rolled up, rolled down, low riding, you know, all that stuff. And it's like, why can't this option be in this fighting game? It's, you know, it's a nitpick, but it's kind of a pretty big nitpick if you think about it, where it's like, this game has this option. Basically, this game's character customization and this one's are almost alike, except for this one little thing. And, you know, sometimes this is understandable. You know, this was probably not thought of in the game in the actual programming process, or this was an option that we had to take out for one reason or another. You know, time restraint, things like that. But it's one of those nitpicks in games that really bug me. You know, something like that. You know, my gaming nitpicks are basically, how come I can't do this? I can't create this type. I can't have this option in creating a character. How come my like in other games, how come my opponents can do this with this type of weapon or power, and yet I really can't? You know, I have a different variant of that. I want their variant. That kind is more basically fixed in sequels. But then that also gets to playing God customization, which is basically your RPGs and The Sims, or other simulation type games. where you can create these characters, but you also create their backstory. You can create their families. You can create their stats, basically. You are playing God in these senses. In RPGs and in these simulation games, you are playing God. You created these characters, and you give them these, they're this strong, they're this smart, they're this agile, like that. And then you just sent them on into the world. That is God, playing God customization. And I love it. I really do. A guilty pleasure game for me is a game of The Sims, because I have this option that I can create this character and I can make him have this life. It's the game of life, basically, playing The Sims. You can play Roller Coaster Tycoon and run that amusement park any way you want. You can run it into the ground if you wanted to. You can jack up the prices. More than likely, you're not going to get people to go into your amusement park, or not get people to ride your rides or buy your food or buy souvenirs because the prices are huge. And you know what? It's okay, because you created the world like that. You created the people like that, so that they will do what you want. You can create a sim where they're basically greedy as shit. Greedy as shit. And they're married to a person who is a giant penny pincher. They are cheap. And you can make it work. You can see how it reflects on the people that visit them, or on their children if they have them. You can create a really slobbingly person, and then marry a neat person, or have a neat roommate, or have neat slovenly parents with neat children. Things like that you can do, and it's beautiful in that sense. For sim games. In RPGs, there are limitations. That is understandable. In RPGs that are open-ended, basically, like Fallout. More likely like Fallout. Or in the Elder Scrolls games. There's a set story in there. But this character that you are in the game created yourself. You can choose to look like this. You can choose to have these stats. You can choose to use these armaments, basically. And you can set them out into the world following the story, how it wants to go. But along the way, you can choose these options that affect how your character acts, or how your character's abilities grow, or how people around your character act with your character. You can start Fallout 3 as the nicest person in the world, and by the end of the main quest line, you can be the world's biggest bastard out there. And it's perfect in that sense with 3, because with Vegas, this is kind of going off topic a bit, but it's relevant. With New Vegas, no matter how hard I tried, and we're talking about the console version here, people, mostly because I don't have the PC version, and I don't have the powerful enough PC to run this the game. With the console version, I have never had a game, first off, ever end, because I always restart to see how I want this to go, or if I got a new idea for character. But I never had a game where close to the end of the main storyline, as close as I want to get, or as close as I think it is to the end. Because for some weird reason, I can never pinpoint where that is. And I know it's when the battle between the NCR and I was about to say Enclave, but the NCR and the Legion are supposed to happen. You're supposed to be building up this army for whatever side you're on, either the NCR, the Legion, or yourself, basically. And then that's how the game ends, depending on what side, and you pick the ending. I never get that close, because I never want the game to end. But no matter how hard I try, no matter what side I pick, I can never get my character's morality to be evil in any sense. And I know what many people listening to this are thinking. Why not just kill, innocent people? Not important NPCs. That can easily raise your, or lower your morality. Infamy, basically. You could, end this quest this way, where you end up with the evil way. Stuff like that. That I understand. That I've tried. But no matter how hard I try, I cannot get my character to even seem evil to other people. I can go with the Legion. I can choose the Legion side, even though none of my save games are with them. But I can choose the Legion side, and I have once, but I deleted it. And everyone who is opposed to the Legion hates me. However, ladies and gentlemen, my morality is still good. It was still good. People who oppose the Legion, they did hate me for being in the Legion. However, they were still nice to me because I was nice. It's one of those things that is confusing to me. I can create this character, make him choose this path, and yet, for some weird reason, I cannot get him to be evil. Get him or her to be evil. That's a New Vegas. Technically, that's hard. In 3, that shit was easy to do. Real easy to do. Because there were, basically how I see it, there was more options in 3 to be evil. Hell, just doing the main storyline can get you evil morality. And I think that's really where New Vegas kind of has that problem with me. Is that how I feel there's more steps in the main storyline, or there's more moments in the main storyline that I can choose evil outcomes. I can choose bad outcomes. I can choose to basically poison the water supply that's going to be cleaned up by the Gek, so that only these set amount of people are going to be saved, while everyone else who drinks it will die. Options like that. That'll get you giant or large amounts of evil morality, or evil karma as it's called. I could, and then there's that last moment right before. This is not including Broken Steel, by the way, but just the main bare bones storyline. And that is, I can get lots of good karma by going into the final machine, basically, punching in the code, and then starting the Project Purity, and gain a lot of good morality points. I can do that. I can do that. However, I can also send in the Brotherhood of Steel member that followed me. I can send her in to punch in the code and die, and I can get evil points. I can make the Enclave explode if I have good enough speech. If I have large enough speech, I can blow up Megaton, which gets me points, large bad karma. I can save Megaton, which gives me good karma. I can do this. I can save these people. I can kill these people and get bad. I can kill these people and get good. I can save these people, get bad. Save these people, get good. Do these things, get good. So on and so forth. Options. Tons of options for customizations with RPGs. And that's just Fallout. That's just fucking Fallout I'm talking about right now. I played Elder Scrolls. Never finished that either. Because that game is large. I've played Elder Scrolls 3. Or whatever was before Oblivion. I forget. I really do forget. But I think it was 3. And yes, the controls for 3, and this is still console people. Get this in, just understand this. These are console talking right now. But it was still 3. And besides the control issues I had, graphically, I did not like 3. I did not. It was more jarring I mean, I can play N64 games, old N64 games, which were polygon and 64-bit, and my eyes would be fine. But I cannot for the life of me, or death of me, play Elder Scrolls 3 without squinting my eyes or getting eye pains. But graphically aside, those options for the game were brilliant. There was so much that you could do in creating your character, which has basically rolled over onto the other games and into the Fallout franchise, because they're both published by Bethesda. At least, no, they were both published by Bethesda. No, wait. Whatever. Fallout, Oblivion, Elder Scrolls, connected somehow. Rolled over. And then you had Oblivion. More options there, too. Better graphics, which I liked. More options there. Then you had Skyrim. Again, more options, more stuff to do, things like that. But then there's the subcategory that I think there are about games that are like Elder Scrolls and Fallout. And there's that, like creative people like me, there's always going to be a time when you think, I have this game. I have these options to create these characters. Why not, just for once, create a character based on an actual product, or based on, a real person, and go through this line? I know I felt this. I really did. Because I've been reading Fallout Equestria. I have. And I love the book. I love it. It's really good. And what I basically did was, I actually created Little Pip. I did. Really did. And as I read the book, I'm actually picking the perks that fit, that she also gains. Not in the exact order that she did, but, there are limitations between two forms of entertainment. But that's where it comes down to. That's what comes down to it. You have these options. You can basically follow a story, like Fallout Equestria, and put it into another medium. Follow it as close as you, but you can't actually follow. The closeness, it all depends on the game, what you can do with the game, and the options within the game. Hell, you can probably even basically do the Hunger Games, I'm thinking, and use Fallout, whichever one. Bet you could. Bet it would work. Or Elder Scrolls. Bet it would work. But then there are other RPGs that really don't. Now we're getting into the RPG part, which kind of badly segued from the customization. You have your more story-driven RPGs. Like the Tales series. The Tales series, and basically other JRPGs, sometimes, have really story-based, where you are this already predetermined character, but you can customize his strengths, his or her strengths, their weapons, their powers, basically. And while I do like JRPGs, people, sometimes not so much. It depends on the story, it depends on the characters. If there's at least one character in the entire game that I like in a JRPG, then it's okay. Hell, even in northern, North American or European RPGs, basically, like Mass Effect. I forget where that's made, but like Mass Effect, it's also there. You're a shepherd. You just get to choose gender and the way he looks and how he eventually turns out, either Paragon, Renegade, Soldier, Engineer, all these other options of how he's going to be. That's all you pick. But you also pick, then you follow the story. You have to follow the story from end to end, but you choose how it ends. Either you end good or you end bad. You choose all these other options. But you follow the story. You're that character. But you also pick romances. You can romance, which is another nice option. It's not technically customization, but it's a choice. It's a choice that you can choose. It's something you can choose in the game to go with. But that, my friends, is another topic for another day. This has been YouTube Charade for Charade Rants on July 3rd, 2012. Good night, and God bless.